All right, this is the ongoing this is the evolution of engineered light. That's you can see the images that I've been taking appearing in the corner, disappearing, appearing on the wall, disappearing. It's appearing on the ceiling, lighter than disappearing, and it's appearing. You're looking at multiple layers. This is while I've been engaged in uploading my documentation onto the venue of the internet. Is occurring while the light source is outside of the living room window, just like it was at 6:55 in the morning. This is still the presence of magnified light at a downward trajectory, and this is supposed to be the guise of what's supposedly sunlight. It has nothing to do with the presence of the light source. This is maintaining engineered light, stalking with light. The people of the state are engaged in surveillance and engineered light on my ceiling while I'm in operation of my phone, engaging in what is uploading the evidence, all of what the entity is aware of that I captured, and the people of the state are covered in the engineered light that's inside of my apartment. It's not sunlight, they're group stalking. This is the light source that's outside of my bedroom window. It is entirely separate from the light you see on my ceiling inside of my bedroom, which the entity maintains inside of my bedroom, wherever it is that I'm located in my apartment. In other words, the entity is surrounding me with directed light on an ongoing manner. While this light activity, literally this is the demonic, just appearing and disappearing all over your walls and all over your ceilings all day long, the government's going to be prosecuted because the government is group stalking you, and the government is doing so in very psychotic and satanic methods while they are aware of the fact that you are exposing it and prosecuting them for it. And every person that lives at Alvarado Gardens is prosecuted by virtue of that light activity. That's how serious it is. But this is what I'm capturing because this is what the entity is engaging in concert with the state. That is the explanation for the heavy group stalking conduct by helicopter. That's exactly what is going on in the environment. That's why the state is engaging in that conduct, and it is directly coexisting with what is criminal presence. You don't have a right to pay a mortgage in relevant position where you're group stalking. You're not engaging in any private act. You're not engaging in any lawful conduct. It's evidence of what is your criminal presence, and by virtue of your address, wherever you're paying a mortgage or paying on a lease, you're going to be prosecuted for engaging in what is state terrorism. And there's sex offenders doing so while you see that engineered light inside of my apartment, which is nowhere near the Ovid Family Community Library, which is where the evidence that's already on the record. If you look at where I was on this day in 2022, where I remained, the light source is hovering over the top of my head over 215 East C Street and maintaining presence over that building as I remain. And I've heavily documented the Ovid Family Community Library. There is no shared sky space. In addition, 6:55 in the morning, and the current time is 9:33, 7, 8, 9. You're talking about what is non-movement of the light source, okay? This is P.O.C. That's just ongoing crossing a path. Demons that are engaging in surveillance, driving on the roads and the highways. This whole population is going to be prosecuted for engaging in what is exposed. This is terrorism, which is the United States is not the free country that we are representing, not only to American citizens who think that they're free. You have what is the world that thinks that this is a free country, and in fact it is not. And the means of what is surveillance, and it's a crime because the government doesn't have any constitutional basis upon which to keep American citizens under surveillance. It is a crime. And it's also criminal the ways in which I have exposed the government is seeking to obstruct justice while that criminal act that it is engaging in concert with the constituents of the state, of the so-called free world. Those so-called beneficiaries of that free state are engaging in what is literally the opposite of freedom. They are violating your so-called freedoms, and wanting to hide the fact, conceal the fact that you do not have such freedom. And that's the relevance of what is the people of the state wanting you to not speak on the fact that they are demons that are engaging in what are corporate invasion of privacy, stalking as a population, and stalking in an environment that is entirely demonic, revealing what is their condition. So it is currently 9:34 a.m. and this is indeed the light source in the same sky space in alignment with my apartment, where it remains well after 6 p.m. And what is also phenomenal is because I'm at the California DMV on June 5th, 2022, and yet you're looking at the stationary presence of the light source on the outside of the living room side of my apartment. But yet at the same time, 9:35, I am documented coming up what is coming to the property. So the light source is over me on Clifford. The light source is over me at the DMV. The light source is over me through the window of the Uber that's on the freeway. That is nowhere near or visible or capable of being seen at the same time where I am facing the hillside. This is the opposite side of the apartment complex, but yet the light source is at the same time over my head through the window of the Uber on June 5th, while it is in motion over my head, going up Clifford and then going down Alvarado, and I'm at the entrance of that apartment, of this apartment complex, but yet I'm at the apartment complex remaining stationary on this day, and the light source is on the opposite side. This is not at the entrance of the Alvarado Gardens apartments. In other words, visible through my living room window. And so let's take a look at that, just so this is common sense, because it has nothing to do also with the engineered light that's on my ceiling. Remember June 5th, 2024, when I'm on Clifford inside of the Uber and I stop, I arrive, Uber drops me off right here at the entrance. And 9:36, I begin video again at 9:37, and you see the Los Angeles Police Department helicopter. They're flying in the background of that video. They're flying in this direction as I stand at the entrance. And at 9:37 in the morning, as you see, there's no sun that's over my head, but that's exactly where I was at when I arrived on June 5th. That's because the entity is engaging in what is group stalking. And that's why you see demons crossing path on Glenview when I'm at the California DMV, and those demons are crossing paths while engineered lights moving across the DMV. And that's exposing what all the rest of them are doing. You can see the light source over the entrance of the entryway of Alvarado Gardens. You can see the light source through the window, the passenger side window of this vehicle belonging to Abigail Peckman in space number 20. That's space number 24. The light, which is not the sun, is in a position speaking to what is in direct conflict with where it was at as I arrived coming to this location from the DMV, not in a position where it's outside, visible outside of my living room window, which is why you see it through the passenger side of Abigail Peckman's vehicle. Evidence that Abigail Peckman is living at a crime scene, acting pursuant to a government secret system of keeping American citizens under surveillance, and she's going to federal prison for it by virtue of this specific environment and the malice with which she exhibits as a community that are engaging in that conduct together, okay? This is nothing other than evidence Luke Powell, who you've seen engaging in surveillance in the parking lot after 6 p.m., and he's acting, him and his girlfriend, so pathetic, French kissing while they're group stalking in the path, and the entity sounding helicopter activity in the same light space, the same where you're looking at after 6 p.m. and this light source is right over this building in alignment to my bedroom, and he's doing the exact same thing, crossing path, sucking face with another demon while the entity, they're group stalking with LAPD, where the sun is never going to be visible through the window of any a vehicle on the property and still present in alignment with me. By the way, while you see it through the window of Abigail Peckman's car, the light source is in alignment to me. And while you see Luke Powell group stalking on video after 6 p.m. and the light source is right here in alignment with my living room window, which is never going to be the sun, you are understanding what Luke Powell is engaging in, and he's going to federal prison for it. Okay? Everything that pathetic entity is doing, which is as pathetic as all the rest of them, because that's what they're all doing. Their entire existence centers around me. You're not going to work. You're not exercising. You're not driving down the street. All right. You're not pushing a stroller and walking your dog. They're demons who are focused on me. And you know that through the demonic environment that they're remaining present in. And that's what is so pathetic about an entity that is distracting you with what you think life is about, making money and going and do. No, the demons actually want you to stay asleep. And the demons are the government, by the way, that are monitoring with the people of the state. They're acting as one. And he is walking by. You can see the light source speaking to what is his demonic pacing. All he did is walk out, go to his car, and walk back out the parking lot. That's the form whereby a demon is pacing in concert with the demon that's driving up Alvarado Street. The absence of the sun being over the entrance of the Alvarado Gardens apartments, like it was when I came in a vehicle, third-party group stalker Uber, and the light source is over my head in step with me while I'm going up Clifford and then coming down Alvarado. And as I stand there, that's where the entity is group stalking in a helicopter at 9:37 in the morning. It is 9:39 and I remain inside of my apartment. You do not see any such sun that's directly over my head, which is unmistakable as a matter of video documentation. And the entity is maintaining the light source because I stayed in my apartment today. The light source is outside of the living room window, outside of that side of the apartment. Outside there, not over the entrance, not over Clifford Street, not over any DMV, remaining here as a matter of video evidence, 6:55 in the morning, and it's still outside of that same living room window, which speaks to what the Glendale Police Department are doing, which speaks to what all of the people of the state are doing, maintaining criminal presence in the path, and it is shown their group stalking and their demon possession is evidence through the demonic environment that remains where I'm at, okay? Showing the stalker that they are. Okay, and it is also further corroborated because the state is stalking directly. Indeed, every moment of documentation the state is engaging in surveillance, Silverview Townhomes is going to be prosecuted. All their minor children that they are raising as terrorists and sex offenders are going to be removed from their custody while they act with impunity as one. On the streets of Alvarado Gardens, you see the light source through the vehicle? Group stalking on Alvarado Street, group stalking at Silverview Townhomes, group stalking by the population living on the hillside, group stalking by the people of the state that are coming onto the grounds and acting with that entity. There is no iteration of the natural environment that's going to have the removal, the outright departure from the operation in the natural environment such that the sun is going to be over the entrance of Alvarado Gardens, which means it would be outside of this side of my apartment right now. But it's not. It's acting in conformity to what I do as I do it. And that's why it's remaining on the east side of my apartment. And 11 hours later from 6:55, 12 hours later, the light source is on this side of my apartment, seen right here, as you see, on an ongoing basis, which is a scientific impossibility. In other words, it's never naturally happening. Speaking to the demon possessed, the state and the people of the state engaging in a concerted effort to keep an American citizen under surveillance. It is federal group stalking and monitoring, and the demons are keeping you under surveillance on the internet as well. It is currently, while you see the sex offense underway, everybody's going to federal prison for that impunity that the people of the state act in concert to accomplish. That's why your work schedule is legally irrelevant. That would be the individualization of federal group stalking and monitoring. Federal group stalking and monitoring relies on the ongoing cooperative effort of the population of demons who are engaging in ongoing teamwork. And Lucy Santos, while she sits at work, she's accumulating a criminal record, which she will never escape, and she's going to federal prison for it. It is currently 9:41 a.m. This is the light source that remains in alignment to my apartment, defying nature. Here's light activity inside of my hallway. All right, speaking to what is engineer light while the window is open. While you saw the pattern of the blinds while the blinds were closed, you can see the shape of the window on the ceiling, having nothing to do with the light source that's outside of the living room window, which is not over the entrance of the apartment complex like I documented on June 5th, 2024, coming from another location, not yet arriving at this apartment complex yet. You're understanding that and looking at two videos which are speaking to what is the pattern of conduct. Abigail Peckman, Luke Powell, Joan Kim, and Sean Kim are going to be deported, and all of them are going to federal prison. P.O.C. I want you to see this light source because none of this is sunlight. This is speaking to what is stalking in the environment that is relevant to what is recognizing the population, a corrupt government, a not so free country. This is P.O.C.